Sonic and Mario. Mario and Sonic. The blue blur and the original Jumpman. Both of these guys are icons in gaming history. If there was a Mount Rushmore for video games, they would be in the center. But of course, some people favor one more than the other, and I get it. We all have different opinions, and mine changed a lot. I grew up with Nintendo, Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart, all the Mario games. When I booted up that Mario 3D World game, I was like, okay, I'm obsessed. I grew up with the Mustache Man and fell in love with the characters. Luigi's iconic, Toad is hilarious, Yoshi's pretty cool, and Bowser is actually really enjoyable to watch, play against, or sometimes even play with. I was a hardcore Mario fan, ready to fight in Mario's honor if anyone ever talked trash about even one of his games. However, everything changed on December 25th, 2025, Christmas Day, the day that made me crave chili dogs over mushrooms. I got a lot of good gifts, a new phone case, Xbox, mousepad, etc. But there was one gift I really liked, that being Sonic Racing Crossworld. Now, I know I mentioned Mario Kart in the Mario section of this rant, but I've honestly not gotten that much into racing games. I only wanted Crossworlds because I heard the rival interactions.
I know you like to take it easy, but at least try to make this interesting, okay?
Oh, I will. Froggy is watching and cheering me on. I won't lose.
But once I actually started playing the game, it was fast. I know, a Sonic game being fast. Shocker. But there were so many mechanics I had to get used to. How do I use these items? How did I get from first to 8th in 2 seconds? It was all so confusing to me. But after a while, I got the hang of it. I used abilities at the right times, I collected rings really fast, and lost to Egg Pawn. Egg Pawn, out of all the characters, he's just this. Literally this. This is what I lost to. A training dummy. But the gameplay wasn't the only thing that got me hooked. Remember when I talked about the reason I wanted this game? Rival interactions.
Your presence implies my father will succeed if not opposed. He will be pleased by this.
Don't use me to encourage that madman. I'll beat you today and prove just how hopeless your cause truly is.
My days of running from you are over. Watch your back, because I'm chasing you all the way to the finish line.
You're going down, punk. Gonna pay you back 100 times over for all you did.
Wow, you learned to count to 100. Very impressive. Now, do you know which one's the brake and which one's the accelerator?
When I first played, I thought the exchanges would be childish or plain boring, but the dynamics were super interesting. I noticed that I loved Sonic characters and had a blast hearing the interactions. But this wasn't enough to do Sonic better than Mario. A lot of games have great voices and dynamics. Sonic just did it amazingly. However, this next part almost solidified it. Almost. There's one Sonic game that almost no one... Well, actually, there's a lot of Sonic games that people do. Okay, there's a lot of Sonic games that almost no one likes, but we're going to talk about one today, that being Sonic Forces. I didn't play it much, so I had to watch 2 whole hours of raw Sonic Forces gameplay to write this section. Okay, maybe I didn't have to, but I was intrigued. It's divided into 3 different play styles. Sonic, which is your average 3D Sonic game, Classic Sonic, focuses on 2D platforming, and the Rookie, who uses his grapple and laser. Rookie's really basic, that's the best explanation you're going to get. I think this is a neat idea, and it helps with the framing of the story. Sonic gets captured, so someone else needs to fill his shoes. However, other people like Tails don't know he's alive, so they need someone identical to fill it in for him, and then Sonic himself obviously needs some gameplay of his own. There were a lot of things I liked and hated about Forces. Pacing is all over the place, 3 different perspectives is good on paper but not executed well, Metal Sonic did not feel like he needed his own boss fight, and the main villain of the game wasn't the final boss. Now, as I stated before, there are multiple things that I loved about this game. The gameplay, the classic levels, and much more. But there's one person that made me realize, hold on, they can make a mediocre Sonic game actually bearable. That one person? Infinite. Infinite, the Jackal. Infinite was a lot to take in. His design was cool, his attacks were nice, and in my opinion, he didn't feel like a super serious Sonic villain, just a super intimidating one. Honestly, that's better. Plus, his lore goes kinda crazy. Infinite used to be the leader of a group called the Jackal Squad. They were mercenaries of sorts. One day, the group attacked Eggman's base and quickly got overwhelmed by badness. However, Eggman instead offered the squad to be part of the Eggman's empire. Zero agreed. And then came Shadow T. Hedgehog. The Jackal Squad was assigned to guard the Mystic Jungle, but they were completely destroyed by Shadow, and the only survivor was Zero. He was infuriated and fused himself with the Phantom Ruby prototype to become someone new, that being Infinite. This is probably my favorite backstory for any video game villain, and it's disappointing that not many people know about it. And the fact that Shadow was the cause of this transformation is kind of genius. Now imagine my disappointment when he wasn't the last boss. This guy defeated Sonic twice, defeated Silver, almost caused the end of the world, and isn't the last boss. And honestly, that might be a good thing. It's not a good thing that he was just forgotten about, that was stupid, but it's good that I'm mad about it. You know, they made a character that many people don't like when they see him, and get to love him when they get to know him. Now, as I said, this almost made me like Sonic better than Mario, but not enough. However, this next part solidified it. This next part is purely opinion-based. Every popular game needs a music identity, and Mario does that amazingly. When you hear the or the start to 1-1, or any Bowser's Castle theme, you can hear the word iconic in your head. However, there aren't many Mario songs that we just listen to on a daily basis, just because they're nice to listen to. Maybe the opening to Mario Galaxy? Actually, yeah, that sucks. Then you have Pokemon, classic chiptunes or fast-paced beats that really tell you this battle's gonna be rough. Any game with a clear music identity boosts it up a lot. Now, what about Sonic? Sonic has a clear identity, percussion heavy, guitar, and of course, fast. But there's one thing about Sonic's OST that makes it stand out much more than Mario or Pokemon's. That being the vocals. If you didn't notice, I've been using Sonic music throughout this whole video because it's so good. You Feel the Sunshine, Open Your Heart, Unknown from Fantasy, and so many more. Shout out to EPG and Anand for listening to this video, by the way. I looked up all Sonic vocal songs and found a playlist with 135 songs. I was not going to look through them, but for the ones I did find, they did not disappoint. In Sonic Adventure 2, oh my dude. The track is heavy, especially with this. Probably one of my favorite songs, not just for Sonic, but of all time. I was actually listening to it while writing the script and waiting for information. So, what did we learn? Sonic's characters have amazing voices and interesting dynamics. Infinite is definitive proof that you can make a one-time villain memorable, and Sonic Adventure 2 has the best video game soundtrack of all time. Overall, I think the Sonic games beat Mario games, but just barely. My main reason is probably because I love stories and characters much more than gameplay. Also, I do not like Sega more than Nintendo, only Sonic more than Mario. Nintendo has all the iconic games I love, while the only thing I know Sega for is literally just Sonic. So so the company still loses, unfortunately. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time.